everybody. Turn down the music here for a minute. I hope you're all doing really good today. It's November, which means it's National Novel Writing Month. I am going to start a project that I've been outlining for a little bit now. This stream is, I'm still waiting on some computer parts, so this stream is off of my laptop. Probably see right here. And let's just say I'm not 100% confident that it will keep the stream going for very long, so we'll see how it performs. But I'm expecting the last part in soon, a few days, so there might be an absence of a few streams, and I might have to catch up with the writing because I want to do it all on stream live. That kind of depends on tonight, how the computer performs. So we will see where we get, and I'd still have a little bit of outlining to do. Right over here, there's a few things I just need to shore up for the ending, and I do want to start getting words on the page because on NaNoWriMo's website, they have a bunch of badges here. I've actually never done this before, full disclosure, but I think one of these is, first day update. So they want to know that you got some words on the page first day, which is a good idea when you're trying to get 50,000 words down. So I guess we should start with me describing what the hell it is I'm going to be writing. Here we have the outline. I don't have a name for the book yet. I think that'll come with time. But it's based in a universe I've been working on for a while, fantasy universe. I'm actually writing a much larger, more ambitious piece that I'm kind of taking a break from with this, that takes place in the same universe. This is kind of to give me some perspective on ordinary people's lives in that world. That is that. So I guess I should start going through the outline. Begin with, there's going to be two main characters in this novel, Carlos and Sheila. And one is a town guard who actually ends up chasing this woman, Sheila, who escaped from a prison, to his knowledge. What he eventually finds out is that this prison was sort of a slave camp, and that she was being forced to work there because she had some special magical powers that they wanted to take advantage of. So he discovers this place, and he tries to go and talk to his superiors about it, but he's told that, nah, we're not having any of that. One moment, sorry, the music's just a little bit too quick. Go. That was a little bit too much. So, from that point, it's going to get really hectic for Carlos and Sheila, because Carlos, having addressed this issue to his superiors, is then going to go find his friend. I haven't really imagined this character. I think a lot of my characters come out when I'm actually putting words on the page, and I sort of figure out who they are as I'm writing. But this guy, John, Carlos goes to him, lets him know that there's an issue, probably because he thinks that John will be able to help him in some way. I haven't exactly worked out what John's background is or why he would be able to help, but there will be a reason that'll come up eventually. But this guy, they're going to be attacked, and in that attack, John is going to die, and that's going to send Carlos into sort of a spiral where he is going to now be terrified for his life, rightly so, because these assassins had come and murdered his best friend, and he had just recently told his superior about these issues, and he's going to be terrified that people are out to get him, and that's because people will be out to get him. So he's going to eventually go looking for people who might be able to hide him. He, having been a town guard, a city guard for his entire adult life, he'll know some people who maybe he imprisoned for certain reasons, and yada yada. He'll find a way to get in contact with the criminal underworld, where he will actually run into Sheila again, because she's doing the same thing, having just escaped from this prison. So, as that happens, I have a lot of notes here, so they'll become more relevant as I'm actually writing in these sections. But yeah. Where was I? He runs into Sheila. Then he will appeal to some criminals for help of some kind. He's kind of just, at this point, I want him to just be worried about his life and seeing that Sheila is too, and trying to work out a way for the two of them to kind of get away and not be caught up in all this mess. But the person whom they end up finding will have some ideas for them, essentially. Where is that? Let me find it here. Early. I hope this isn't too laggy. I'm a little bit worried because this program I'm using for the outline is a little bit heavy on the computer, and then OBS is. Let me know in chat if problems arise. So Carlos and Sheila talk to this guild boss, and this person lets them know in, I put it very short and sweet here, but it's gonna take some more explaining from her. They're gonna basically have to either submit to the people who are after them, and either be imprisoned, enslaved, or killed. They don't want that. They could run, and she would be happy to help them run. But maybe she would ask for something in return. I don't know yet. Or they could fight back, and she knows some people who they can get in touch with to fight back. Some of this outline is a bit outdated because I'm thinking I'm going to have multiple perspectives in this thing. Originally, I was thinking it would all be from Carlos's perspective. I'm pretty certain I'm not going to do that. It's going to at least be Carlos and Sheila, if not having a few more perspectives thrown in. But they are going to, either together or separately, come to the conclusion that they want to fight back, and they will be introduced to a woman named Allie, who is actually a character in the other book that I'm writing. So she's kind of important to me, and this is kind of my way of developing her backstory a little bit, because I haven't actually written her into the novel. She's just hanging out in the outline, trying to figure out how to be introduced. So this whole book, in a way, is about me being able to find out where Allie is at mentally, so that I can write her. Yeah. So they are introduced to Allie, who's from the Windsworn. and they are essentially a group of individuals who are fighting back against this hidden tyranny in this country, Amphora, where all of this is taking place. They are essentially going to be asked to help with an operation that the Windsworn are undergoing, which is actually to attempt to free the people from the prison factory which Sheila was imprisoned in. And they are going to agree to do this, and that's kind of the way that this is all kicked off into a kind of frenzy to gather the right people for this prison break, except it's a prison break for all of the prisoners. And they're going to have to figure out how to release them and get them away from the prison without any of them getting recaptured or followed or anything like that. To Allie, this is essentially a recruiting mission. She wants to free these people because that's the goal of her organization, but also they want these people to help them in the future to free more people. She's especially going to be interested in recruiting Carlos, Sheila, and a few others that they're going to run into. Yeah, that's the gist of the start of it. I put it in really short terms, what's going to be happening at the end. They're essentially going to be... Let's see. I hope you can still read that. I can barely read that. Maybe I shouldn't zoom out that far. Uh-oh. This is when the program gets laggy. So that's essentially where it's beginning. And since we are beginning today, I'm not sure how much further. I do need to finish the ending in terms of just outlining. But I'm not, I haven't, it hasn't just, the ending hasn't struck me yet, you know? So I'm working on it, and maybe writing some will actually help with that. Let's see if this will zoom in now, or if my computer is just not able to handle it. Oh, too much. I'm excited for my new computer. Let me just put it that way. All right, this is better. So, where are we? They met Allie. They're introduced to the rest of the team meant to rescue factory prisoners, right? So Allie is going to introduce them to all these other people whose characters I have not really even conceived of yet. There's going to be a couple of characters from the full-length novel that I'm writing thrown in there who are like members of the Windsworn and friends of Allie's that'll make like an appearance, because I think it'll be kind of cool to just reference them. But the plan, the preparation to infiltrate the prison. I'm going, oh, my camera right in the way of where I'm reading. I need to pay. My apologies. This thing. Apparently this is taking more processing power than I even thought it would. It'll get there. Gotta give it some time. Once I have my PC built, all this will be so smooth. Okay, so the infiltration, apologies. I really should not have tried to zoom out. It's just taking way too much. Well, off the top of my head, the infiltration is essentially going to be sort of an assault by like an assault force of probably just people that they've recruited, and maybe a few actual Windsworn who have joined to help, and then they're going to need a person to actually sneak in, because all of that is just going to be a distraction to get the prisoners out a separate way. That's going to be something I need to really work on in the writing stage, because and I'll probably need to make like a separate outline just for how all of that's going to logically make sense in the characters' heads and like in the actual story. So yeah, I've got the bones of it here, but that's about it. I'm not sure if you can. Sorry, I was circling the plan revealed section. All of this. So that's the plan for the infiltration. How will the infiltration actually go? Well, first they've got to actually gather all of the people who are going to help them, which introduces a bunch of characters, some that I've conceived of, some that I really haven't. Carlos is going to know some people, some disgruntled guards who might be able to help, like in either the assault or I'm looking for a word here and it's escaped me. Deceiving the city guard into thinking that something is going to happen, but it's going to happen elsewhere, so that they concentrate their forces somewhere else on the night of the infiltration. It's going to be a little bit of like a heist sort of thing going. So he's going to find some people like that. There's a fun character in here who sells explosives. Sheila is going to be checking in on her family at some point during this stage, because she's been imprisoned for so long and they don't know where she's been. So they kind of think that she's dead, and that's going to be a sort of like heartwarming thing, probably more sad than happy, but maybe more happy than sad. I know that doesn't really answer any questions, but I haven't really figured it out myself yet. They are going to realize that Sheila would actually make the perfect person to sneak in, since she's already snuck out of the place. It's going to take them all a lot of time to realize it. I don't know if that's going to read very well, but if it doesn't, then I can have them talking about having her doing it to begin with, and then her refusing to. So it'll be like a thing that I fix in editing if it doesn't work. A lot of this month is going to be me putting words on the page and just leaving them there. Like, if they don't work, I will either do like a rewrite later, or I will rewrite it when I need to. Like, if I write chapter 2 and chapter 2 sucks, so it doesn't fit, then I might rewrite chapter 2 when something from it becomes relevant in chapter 20. So that's that. I have here's the spot that I'm lost on. Something needs to happen here. Good outline, Scott. I'm thinking it'll either be conflict between the protagonists, like maybe Carlos and Sheila disagree with something that Allie wants to do, or Carlos and Sheila themselves disagree on something. I was thinking there could be like a romance between them, because I'm thinking They are another character from my larger novels. They are another character's parents, essentially, and this is like the how they met story. But I really don't know if I'm going to include any of the romance stuff with them in it, like a little bit, but I don't know if it'll actually be like a thematic thing in it. So, but it could be something that fills this space. I don't know if I want it to be fun and light or heavy and foreboding, but I've got to figure that out. I'm very much leaning towards a protagonist on protagonist conflict in this section. And this is all what happens between gathering the people and between actually doing the infiltration, which will be successful. They will free everyone. And I forgot to mention, there's a reporter that they will. Here we go. Carlos meet. Oh, this thing is not keeping up with my inputs. Here we go. Stay right here. Good. Why I didn't tell it to move? Just doing this on its own. I'm not doing anything. Okay. Come on. You can do it. Here we go. A few days from now, these sort of issues won't be cropping up anymore because I'll actually have my PC running the stream. This computer's not really built to multitask, and I'm currently having it do 300 things for the stream. So, Carlos is going to meet with his reporter friend, and this is going to be important because a big part of what Allie wants to do is publicize the entire scandal that is the enslavement of people who have done nothing wrong. They're not like criminals who have been arrested, I should have mentioned. They're like just people who have a magical gift, essentially. They're able to use a magic called material flux, which is of legend, and most people believe doesn't exist. But it does, and the reason no one ever sees someone who has it is because they're literally, like, taken away as soon as they discover they have the ability, and they're put to work. Because the magic is very good at changing different types of matter into other types of matter and stuff, so it's used to like regulate the economy and all this crazy stuff. I'll get into that maybe later tonight, maybe at a different time when it becomes relevant in my writing. But long story short, they want this reporter to publicize all of this because once it's known to the general public, the government won't be able to get away with it, and the hope would be that they would either stop or it would actually help their cause change the world, So we'll get into that at the end too, because the ending, I'm imagining that the ending will be good. They're happy that they succeeded, but then an epilogue will take place, which will show that while their mission was a success, their reporter friend was actually found and killed. So that's going to be like the epilogue of the book, because in the novel, which takes place 20 years from this event, there will be it will still be secret that this is happening, and there will be far more factories using prisoners to keep the economy running, essentially. So yeah, that's the gist of what I'm trying to write today. I don't know how much writing I'm going to get done, especially because the stream seems to be lagging some. Switch over to writing mode. Here we got NaNoWriMo's website. They'll let me update the word count and stuff. I have never used it, so forgive me if I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe time to get started. I should have mentioned. Yes, I should. I want to get probably at least the first page done today. I was worried that the stream would cut out. Seems like it could at any moment, honestly. But so I haven't set like an ambitious goal for today, and I probably will once I have a reliable computer streaming this. But I'm thinking that this opening chapter will be Carlos at his guard post, and he's like in the middle of a conversation with a friend. Just some random guard, probably someone who won't come back again. Maybe they will. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm thinking it might be interesting to start it mid-conversation. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to work that out, but to try just writing some. Chapter 1. All right. Why did it do this? Sorry, I'm getting used to Google Docs because I'm switching over from Mac to PC and I've been using Pages. Here we go. Chapter 1. I'm thinking that Carlos will I don't think Carlos is going to be the first speaker. I think that it's going to be the person he's posted with. I'm imagining he's posted on a wall. I really don't know what the first line should be. I think it should be something about like the way the world is. I know that's petty, but like I want the first sentence to really like give off the vibe that this place is kind of semi-dystopian. Like maybe they're talking about something awful that happened or that someone was talking about, but they're talking about it in like a lighthearted way. Maybe and you know how he got away? Let's see. You know how he got away? It's gonna take some thinking about, but we're gonna start with that. I think it'll go unannounced who was saying it, and then Carlos was only half listening, as this guy's name is going to be Harold or Herod, but that Carlos was only half listening. Herod slathered on about moons know that's probably going to change. The main religion in this world, it's a fantasy universe, so but the main religion is about these two goddesses who are represented by the two moons, and so there's some turns of phrase that people use, like rather than God knows what, it's moons know what, crap like that. I don't know if I'll start it with something like that because I want this to be sort of an accessible standalone story, and this is sort of a reference to another book right at the beginning that might confuse people. But yeah, I think when I'm actually like really doing some sprints and stuff, I'll probably, I don't know, turn on some music or put on like some writing lecture and just write without actually talking about every sentence, because, you know, I gotta get 50,000 words down. But for now, I want to actually think out loud about this because first page is important. I don't know, it kind of sets the tone for everything else. I'm sort of working that out myself. I have an idea from outline, but now I just want to kind of get a page out and then maybe change it a few times. Maybe get 3 first pages out, you know, and see which one I like best. Carlos was only half listening as Harold blathered on about moons know what. Thanks for stopping in, Munchkin. I only just saw your message. I am going to underline this for editing later and move forward. Carlos was only half listening as Harold blathered on about moons know what. I hope that my keyboard isn't being picked up too much by the mic. Or I guess it doesn't matter if it is. He was quite a talker, that one. How often did the man need to hear himself speak? I don't know if that's the direction I want to go in. I'm really overthinking this. But, yeah, I don't know if this is getting where I want it to go. Might have to try something different. It was a little bit of a strange idea to start it in the middle of a conversation. I think I could pull it off though. It might just take like a lot of work in post. Good. For now though, let's just get the dialogue out and change it later. You know how he got away? He just stood. Ooh. Hold on a moment. Yeah, I think maybe I will work on the conversation thing later. I'm going to drop some description in before it. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit more solid. Just start off with, it was a dark and dreary day at guard post 12. It wasn't the first or the last, Carlos could see. That's a lie. It'll be the last. He just doesn't know it yet. Oh, here's a good way to do this. I'm gonna say something like, how many times had he heard Howard tell this story? But before that, how many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing? I'm going to do like a sort of list of things that Carlos has seen 100 times that he's seeing again today, so that he's sort of in this mundane position, in this dismal place in his life. So that way, he can find happiness and he's tugged out of it. Wasn't the first or last, Carlos would be. How many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing the guard master spout off numbers like 12%? No, I don't think it's gonna be in percentages. Let's see. For now, I'm gonna use a percentage as a stand-in. Go with 15% less shoplifting in the market district. That's gonna change though. I don't like the way that sounds. How many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing the guard master spout off numbers like 15% less shoplifting in the market district? Uh, 18 less cases of something. I don't know. Or I want like a little bit of a humorous thing. I gotta think about it. That might be this. Nah, it's gotta be the third one, I think. 18 less cases of something dumb, I'm thinking here. I don't know, something that's like something a city guard has to deal with, but is just annoying to think about. Like, I don't know, cats or stray animals in some shop or something, but I'll figure that out. 18 less cases of... Ooh, okay, I have an idea. In this world, I'm doing a sort of like familiar animals, which are still fantasy animals, like a turtle bear, or like it's just a bear with a shell, like kind of terrifying. Think about it, but also like amusing to imagine. So maybe I'll come up with like a sort of mix of a stray cat and I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But I'm going to leave a note. Strange City hybrid. Okay. Or how many times heard Herod told this? How many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing the guardmaster spout off numbers like 15% less shoplifting in the market district, 18 less cases of cat moles. Oh, there's why it doesn't make sense. Of cat moles eating Petunia messengers garden vegetables. That's terrible. I need to change. But something like that. 18 less cases of... I like that mole cat, was it? I'm gonna leave mole cat as the stand-in there. Okay. 18 less cases of mole cats eating Petunia's Lessenger's garden vegetables. For how many... And how many times had he need to sit through a day hearing the guardmaster spout off numbers like 15% less shoplifting in the market district, 18 less cases of mole cats eating Petunia Schlesinger's garden vegetables. Hey, how's it going? Fruity and... How do I pronounce your name? Oiv? I'm gonna go with Oiv. Does that work? Turtle Bear. 18 less cases of Turtle Bear. Sounds great. I hope there's 0 cases of Turtle Bear in my life. Welcome everyone. I hope you're having a great NaNoWriMo. I'm starting to get my first words on the page. I definitely want to mark on the website before midnight hits. It's only 9 o'clock, so I think we'll be okay. I'm really in like brainstorm mode kind of now. I'm not really just writing away yet. I'm not sure if you were in here when I was showing the outline, but the story is essentially about a guy named Carlos who is a city guard for this city of Amphora, and he kind of discovers in chasing a criminal that this criminal escaped from a factory which was essentially secretively using slave labor by people who have a magical gift, and that helps with the creation of goods and products. Oh, this is Campfire. You might have heard about it on YouTube. Pretty nice. This is like a timeline setup, but they've got character lists. Sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. Oh, if it runs properly, it's nice. I'm running off of a pretty crappy laptop. You can add characters in, you can do relationship webs. I don't have a good example set up because I've just been using it for outlining for this story. But it's kind of an all-in-one. You have one file and all the information for your world in it. I like it. I've only been using it for the past few months, so yeah, if you're looking for something to set up timelines, though, that's especially. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So, we got the mole cats and the turtle bears, and I was making sure this sentence made sense. That's what I was doing. How many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing the guardmaster spout off numbers? Like 15% less shoplifting in the market district, 18 less cases of mole cats eating her garden vegetables. How many times had he heard Herod tell this story? Alright, that works, I think. I can fix stuff in editing. You know how he got away? He just what? What did he just do? We'll figure that out later. Carlos was only half listening. Herod blathered on about goons know what. That makes this seem a lot more okay. Someone might pick up on the fact that that's a turn of phrase in this world now. Having this first paragraph. He was quite a talker, that one. How often did the man need to hear himself speak? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have Carlos finish his sentence. Alright. I still don't know what the finishing of that sentence is gonna be, but I've heard that one a million times, Herod. Alright, I'm already liking the idea of Herod becoming one of the guards Carlos comes back to for help trying to free the prisoners. Solely for the fact that he's on the first page. He's already being made fun of, which kind of makes him a good butt of the joke character a little bit. The other characters can have somebody to sort of fun. I don't know if that's the way he would respond. Let's try it though. Yeah, well, you might not hear nothing from me if you don't get that chip off your shoulder. Sure. So I'm thinking that this is the good opportunity to introduce what the hell they're doing, which is standing on guard duty at a gate. Yeah, well, you might not hear nothing from me. Get that chip off your shoulder, Carlos. You really expect me to sit here 10 hours a day and not rehash a few stories here and there? That sentence might change, might not. Who knows? Take a reread, I think. This is where we go into detail. The hell did Carlos said. Used that Herod had a point. He caught himself repeating the kind of drawing a blank on. I know what I want to write, but I don't know what words I want. Caught himself rehashing old, not stories, but like I'm looking for here. Or word. Talking. Sometimes when I can't think of the right word in the moment, I just like leave some parentheses. I want it to mean talking points, but I don't want to use talking as thing, because he caught himself rehashing old conversations is sort of what I want to say, but that doesn't make sense in a lot of ways. Not exactly what I want to say. So caught himself rehashing old whatever more times than he'd like to admit. It was just one of those things that came with being Oops. Getting ahead of myself. There we go. Finally, we have introduced what the hell it is that Carlos does. I made a lot of typos. Excuse me. I'm just gonna get a drink really quick. You know, I'm thinking about this right here. I think the word conversations actually works better than I thought it did. Yeah, it works a lot better than I thought it would for some reason. He caught himself rehashing old conversations more times than he'd like to admit. It was just one of those things that came with being Warren City Guard. Separate sentences. Alright. Where do we go from here? Carlos is Warren City Guard. Living eventually someone is going to call him for Carlos at his guard post outside a workers' strike gets called to I was gonna have him at a workers' strike. I wonder if that's, I mean, thematically I think works pretty well, but definitely didn't write it like that. So excuse me. I think, I mean, it would be easy enough to put the workers' strike in, or we could leave it at the gate. You know what? Let's try putting the workers' strike in. I think, yeah, thematically for a first page sort of thing, it's gonna kind of it's gonna be a nice reference to the idea of freeing these people who are being used for to bolster the economy against their own will. So yeah, it might be interesting to, let's see, dark and dreary day at guard post 12. Is that gonna stick around? You know what? Maybe I won't put, you know what? Okay. I know how to put the workers' strike in. Keep this sense of mundanity that I have running. I can put this in on his way to speak to his superior, who's going to send him to find somebody, to find Sheila. So, okay, that will work perfectly. So he's going to be approached. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him approached by. I'm going to have him approached by a person who is basically replacing him for his shift, because he was called in by his superior, who I don't have an. Then on his way to the guard post, supposed to meet the guy at, maybe it'll be a ways off, because he was called in for different. He's gonna have to go into the office, kind of thing. So he'll go into the office, and on his way there, he will see that a worker strike is happening. I don't know how it fits. You know what? Fuck it. Taking it out. That's what I'm doing. Taking it out. Gone. Carlos at his guard post gets called to investigate an issue after he did. Cool. Back to the page. Carlos died. He supposed that Herod had a point. He caught himself rehashing old conversations more times than he'd like to admit. It was just one of those things that came with being an Foreign City guard. Probably more description, honestly. Need to bring Carlos to still just a guy sitting listening to something, the audience. Fact of the matter was, the fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life as trying to avoid saying mundane. As here we go. As much as his days could sometimes blur together. Here we go. By the way, if you're watching my stream over time, you will eventually notice that I am the worst speller in the world. I can't spell for my life. Autocorrect is the biggest savior ever. Fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes work in... Here we go. I gotta reread this to myself. The fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes blur together, the times when he was truly happiest running on. The times when he was truly happiest, times when he was, fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life. He liked his job. There we go, that's 2 sentences. This is why it's throwing me off. Fact of the matter was, Carlos liked it. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes blur together, times when he was truly happiest were when he was helping people. When he was Sorry, I know I'm just staring at the screen right now. I'm really trying to work out the end of this sentence and it's just not coming to me. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes blur together, the times when he was truly happiest were when he was helping. When he was doing yeah, I want some like anecdotes from his life here. Like I wanted like tell a story, something that he did in a sentence. Say like when he was helping. We've already gone the route of talking about people in the like community that he's policing. So maybe we go with like more of that. When he was helping Mrs. something, when he was helping Mrs. something find her lost puppy. Aw. I don't know. No, that's stupid. It's too warm and nice. Want a little bit more. I want practicality of it to come out, not like warm and fuzzy. He was helping Mrs. How about simpler? I was trying to, my brain was going in 100 different directions, mostly in like, he helped someone save their son from being kidnapped, and that's just too crazy. This guy is not, he's not, action hero. He's fucking regular city guard with, like, limited life experience outside of being a city guard. So, gotta have like he was helping Mrs. M with her groceries or something. Yeah, like I'll stick with that for now. Maybe that'll change. Because the things that he's done in the past on the first page are going to be extremely important in how the audience like views him as a character. I really want to get across that he's himself. That makes no sense. That I want to get across that he's like at heart an ordinary guy who joined the guard to just help his community. And he discovers everything that's happening. That sort of attitude is going to be important for the audience to be viewing things from, because like he's going to be learning about a lot of shit that he didn't know about. So he was helping Mrs. M with her groceries. He was doing other stuff. He was helping times when he was truly happiest were when he was helping people. He was helping Mrs. M with groceries. That's going to be the second thing mentioned. First will be when he was if I get too stuck on this, I'm just going to move on. But you want to think about this. What sort of stuff would he do? He's city guard. Mostly just stationed in places, watching out for criminals, handing around a lot. Occasionally, like, needing to chase people down, but otherwise just sort of trying to be like a fixture inside city wall. And how can he, as an individual in that position, go about helping people? What would he be called? Like the classic thing you think of is like getting the cat out of the tree. What's his getting the cat out of? That's what I'm trying to work out here. Like, and I want this one. The first one would be like a specific anecdote. Like, when he was I'm getting stuck, but I'm gonna leave a note of it instead, because specific note feel like that's important structurally. How you'll read who the hell Carlos is from this. Oh wow, I'm sorry. The probably just took a crap load of kind of. Okay, so he was really happiest when he was helping people, which was this thing, and when he helped Mrs. M with her groceries, or when he was simply keeping, and I do want a little bit of that, like, us versus them mentality existing in him when it comes to, like, criminals and stuff, because he's going to need to confront that very early on. So that's going to need to be brought up right here, and maybe great opportunity for that. When he was simply keeping the criminal, I don't want it to be like overboard, because he's like a conscious guy. He's not like most of the guard probably are when it comes to dealing with people who commit a crime, because he's going to need to grow out of that. So he needs to already not be too far gone. Just gonna pull up the outline here because I want to learn where he get to. So he's gonna be getting called in, then Carlos goes inside the nearby guard post to learn that there's been a problem at a nearby factory. Thing about Amphora is that it is a large, it's the largest city in the country. Actually, I'm gonna pull up so I can explain to the stream what I'm talking about. Give me a moment. Sorry, I'm dealing with OB. Here we go. I think it's up. Bigger. Hey, Fruity, do not worry about it. Just enjoy the background noise if you want. Thanks for stopping in, by the way. I really appreciate it. So, okay. This is the country of Amphora. The borders are hard to see on this map, but this is actually a little bit overdone with the cities and stuff, because this specific map for my D&D group, I run a D&D game inside this world, but so the borders run. I don't know why my mouse doesn't show up on screen. I think it's because I'm doing specific windows. But here, right here, these are the border lines where this thing is popping up. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so anyways, Amphora City is right here, and this is where Carlos works. It's the capital of Amphora, which is named for the Amphoran Basin. Right here, this large waterway. It's kind of a Mediterranean sort of a deal. And Amphora is probably the richest country on the continent. They are so secretly because they're using these people with magic abilities. Sorry, I'm covering my face. My bad. that. Still getting used to PC streaming. That over. Yeah. So, so the reason I brought this up is to there was a reason I brought this up. I'm just forgetting it. Carlos is essentially the city guard for the city, which is the most important in this entire country. And he's kind of in like a good position as a city guard. He's paid well and doesn't have to worry about much. Which puts him in a sort of strange place. I don't really remember exactly why I pulled up the map. Probably just to show that like the city he's in is essentially the largest, most rich city in the world. And so he's probably got a bit of a warped perspective when it comes to what the hell it's like for people outside of his city. And that's sort of going to be his part of his arc, is going to be discovering that he's like, he thought the world was one way and it was completely different. And that's why I wanted to bring. Sorry. Here we go. So because of that position that he's in, he needs to have like a certain perspective. Most city guards there would have sort of a warped view about like that us versus them mentality that you hear of so often from blue fight crime. That they treat it like they're fighting criminal, which, like, in certain cases maybe that is the case, but more often than not, a criminal is a person who's in a bad situation due to their circumstances, and often they're like regular people, you know. So that's kind of one of the things that I want to get across in this novel. And because Carlos so quickly shoved into that perspective, I need to get across what his perspective is as the city guard very early on. And I need to then transform it kind of early in. Well, like it'll take time for him to really change his mind about things, but and that's going to be useful because his mentality is going to be useful to the criminals as well. Like the things that he knows as a guard will be helpful to things that they need to accomplish in order to free these people who've been imprisoned. Yeah, I'm kind of talking myself through this. I am extremely prepared, I guess. It's more like it's just been existing in my head for a few months. But and yeah, ACAB, I get the I get it, because the organizations are so corrupt. That's kind of what this story is about. But I think like individuals are often go into police services and things like that with good intentions, and often the system itself can sort of mess with them or push them out. There's so many stories of people who have gone into a organization and like found corruption and then said something about it, and immediately they get fired. Like, you hear about it all the time. And I don't know enough. Like, I'm no expert on it all, so I don't want to address that issue like head on. But I do want it to be a part of this story. You know, I don't feel like I know enough to really say one way or the other about something, but I want it to be part of the message of this. That was honestly, that diatribe I just on kind of helpful, because now I feel a little bit more in Carlos, which was my main goal for today, was to figure out who the hell this character is as I put him on the page. So yeah, so I need a sentence here that represents everything I just talked about. Like, that he has that us versus them mentality, and I also want to get across that he also sees that it's not us versus them, but because he exists in this world where everyone else treats it that way, he treats it that way, essentially. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that in a sentence. I probably can't do that. But it's something that I want to accomplish. Probably in the first chapter. It might be helpful to move forward from here with... I'm going to reread this paragraph, see if it sets up him enough, or if it will when it's finished. Got all these sections that are undone. No, Fruity, you're not distracting me at all. I'm sort of figuring out how the hell I'm gonna do this. I'm so used to writing by myself, like in my head and nothing else. And I'm doing this partially as like an experiment to figure out, is it even possible to write a 50,000 page novel while I'm live on stream the entire time? If it becomes something where I'm not writing fast enough with it, I might do streams and then do the writing post stream, and then come back and do like a little bit of a review before the next one. I don't really know. Yeah. It's been fun so far, and I've gotten a lot. Like, I've brainstormed a lot for myself that I hadn't necessarily done. So, thank you for talking to me, is what I'm saying. Thank you very much. So, I'm just going to read through this and see where it's at, because what I want to do is send the person to pick up Carlos. I think that will kick this off into something that's where things start actually occurring. It was a dark and dreary day at Guard Post 12. It wasn't the first or the last Carlos would see. How many times had he needed to sit through a day, hearing the guardmaster spout off numbers like 15% less shoplifting in the market district, 18 less cases of mole cats eating Petunia Schlesinger's garden vegetables? How many times had he heard Herod tell this story? And you know how he got away? He just... I really need to fill that in. That's going to be key. But he just... It's got to be something so weird, like where you almost have context on what he's saying, but anyway, Carlos was only half listening as Herod blathered on about moons no way. He was quite a talker, that one. How often did the man need to hear himself speak? And Carlos finishes the guy's sentence. I've heard that one a million times, Herod. Yeah, well, you might not hear nothing from me if I don't get that chip off. If you don't get that chip off your shoulder, Carlos. You really expect me to just sit here 10 hours a day and not rehash a few stories here and there? Carlos sighed. Supposed that Herod had a point. Caught himself rehashing old conversations more times than he could admit. It was just one of those things that came with being an Foreign City guard. The fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes blur together, times when he was truly happiest were when he was helping people. When he was doing such and such a thing, he remembers clearly as an important thing. And when he was helping Mrs. M with her groceries, or when he was simply keeping the criminals... Alright, yeah, once I finish those sentences, that's going to solidify a lot, I think. And that would be a good... I feel like there needs to be some sort of... Add some more... conversation or things happening at this guard post in a single paragraph. And then, yeah, maybe I'll have like a paragraph here that's just more like them hanging around at this gate, basically, to just solidify the scene. And then from there, we're gonna have... I haven't come up with a last name for Carlos, realized. Hey, Fruity, I was in the same boat. Like, I was just thinking about it like a week ago, and I didn't really decide to until a few days ago. And today, I spent 2 hours going like, am I really gonna do this? Am I this crazy to try and write a 50,000 page book, but also to try and do it on stream? What the hell is wrong with me? I'm just gonna embarrass myself and fail. And then, like, you know, I might do that, but like, I really don't care. I just decided that I don't care. Like, maybe I'll only get 10,000 words done, and you know, you'll all see that. Whatever. But it's definitely something that's gonna keep me accountable. I don't know, like, I'm already noticing that just being able to sit here and talk to a microphone and talk to you about like ideas that I'm having, it's like, it's solidifying a lot in my head. So even if I'm not writing the words on the page the entire time during the stream, which I'm starting to think won't be feasible, I will be streaming a lot of it and then going over like what I wrote stuff, and that sort of a thing is solidifying so much. I think that it'll stop me from getting as stuck as I sometimes do. So, I don't know. I would highly recommend, like, if you ever need to just work something out, this is coming from this experience today, like, just set your phone down and record yourself and talk about what the hell you're doing when you're writing something, and maybe it'll help. I don't know. And maybe you'll get a YouTube video out of it if you edit it and like what you said. So Carlos's last name needs to be good. I don't think I'm gonna come up with it right now. I'm just gonna put last name right here. I don't even know what, like, I haven't even thought about what rank he has, guard, or if there are ranks, anything like that. Maybe I'll call him, not private, tenant, last name. Eventually I'll have a last name for Carlos. Is lieutenant. That sounds better. Okay. I don't know what the lead into this will be because of the paragraph not being written before it, but it's going to be something like a man shuffled his way down the cobblestone street, head of Carlos. I'm just messing up my typing for every single word here. Head of Carlos Herod. Now, I don't know how I want to describe I don't know if he would yell. I have it in my head that he's like, the word, projecting, like very loudly, like as if he's about to give orders, because he is. So I don't know how to describe that. Closer he began, like projecting I don't think works as scripted term for folks to other images. Yeah, I guess for now I'm just gonna say voice. Actually, yeah, if I actually just go hard on the man shuffled his way down the cobblestone street, head of Carlos and Herod. As he drew closer, he began projecting his voice as if he were an actor. Yeah. I need a substitute word for Broadway since Broadway doesn't exist. Actually, I need to make it a little bit more Carlos's. I don't think he's plays all that often. As he drew closer, he began projecting his voice as if he were an actor. One of those stage plays had been gaining popularity in the Noble District. There we go. Alright. After that, I'm just gonna let Carlos react. Thinking about what else but Carlos. Locked eyes. Visibly. Lynch. I want this guy to be noticeably off-put as soon as like Carlos looks at him, like intimidated or something. I don't know why, but I just feel like good like character trait. Like I don't know, I'm gonna try it. I need a better way to describe it than saying eye contact. But I'll figure that out. Yeah, actually that's great, Fruity. Challenge. Yeah, it's very close to what I'm trying to portray. It's a lot closer than eye contact. Challenge. Thank you. I just realized that I had really bad placement with those. And I've probably, every time I talk to chat, I probably look over. So fix that. Imposition. That could work. Carlos locked eyes with him. Visibly flinched Alan. You know what? Time to pull up the source. I like your use of challenge. Let's look up words that synonym challenge. My computer's really having trouble. I might have to end this stream sometime soon. I think I'll finish the page and call the stream for tonight. And I can't wait until I get my PC in a few days. Just waiting on the motherboard. That will so much. Okay, Challenger. Did I spell challenge wrong? I spelled challenge wrong. Of course I did. There we go. Rejection, protest, test, threat. Confrontation. Try that. Carlos locked eyes with him. Visibly flinched at the... Yeah, I think it's gonna be confrontation. Carlos locked eyes with the man who visibly flinched at the confrontation. Still doesn't feel 100% right, but I'm gonna leave it as that for now. Now Carlos is going to look at the man's rank insignia. I really need to brush up on what the hell the city guards' ranks are going to be. That's something I might do tonight to like end the stream with. Come up with ranks, because that's going to come up a lot more than I expected it to. So that list of what their ranks are, and I'll probably fictional, not using exact carry ranks that are common today, because city guard in a world that doesn't exist. Carlos locked eyes with him, visibly flinched. That'd be me. Carlos looked at me. Sentence is going to be man's rank. Period. I'm clicking to paste because this keyboard is not made for a Mac computer. So that'll be another thing. Carlos looked at the man's rank and I don't know if I want Carlos to be this mean. But for now, how did a sniveling fool, like, no, that's way too, that's like, the word sniveling is too much for Carlos to even think about a fellow guardsman. Maybe, but how did a sniveling fool, definitely fool there, be agitated. How did this in that sort Carlos still stuck on gate duty? What was it? Guard post 12? Guard post 12. Guard. I do want him to be like angry as soon as this guy shows weakness, I guess. Give like, it'll be like sort of a humorous thing, but also show that like there's a little bit of toxicity in the ranks or jealousy that is created in there. Because we're going to be showing off how corrupt the whole thing is in a few chapters. Kind of. I don't know. The city guard's going to be mostly ignorant, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Switch over to the outline really quick. It's frozen. Yeah, it's definitely frozen. Okay, my computer can't all of this. So the basic idea is that Carlos is a little bit tougher than this guy, and he's jealous of this guy for having a better rank. That out no. Very minor. Okay. Can't use too harsh. Maybe just get rid of it. How did a fool like this gain that sort of a... Yeah, that's a lot better. Alright. I like this. I'm totally taking this from Game of Thrones, so I'm probably gonna want to change that. But Watch Captain seems right for like someone who oversees guard duty stuff. So maybe Watch Captain. Did I give this guy a name? Hopefully this. Okay. No, I didn't. So, Watch Captain. Thinking of all these awful names that I'm gonna have to change. Jeffries is not what I want the guy's name to be, but it's what came to my head. Watch Captain Jeffries. Like, has asked for you specifically. That's not the right way to do that. Watch Captain Jeffries has... Here we go. Has ordered me relieve you of duty here. He needs speak with immediately. I'm to tell you to meet him at 16 immediately. I already used immediately. I need to change. Watch Captain Jeffries has ordered me to come and relieve you of duty here. He needs to speak with you about an urgent matter. He asked for you specifically. I'm to tell you to meet him at post number 16 immediately. Immediately. I don't like the way I wrote. I don't even know if this sentence is good. Sorry. I'm gonna underline it for now. Leave it there. There's a reason I put it there. Okay. So this guy asks Carlos to go and report to watch Captain Jeffries, whose name is going to change. And I think that's where I'm gonna call it for tonight. I think I've gotten a lot sorted out in my head. Very few words on the page today. Trying to hit like 2,000 a day. Because I'm gonna be probably I'm probably not going to be able to do tomorrow or the next day. But no problem, Fruity. I'm gonna stay live for a little bit more to work out some world building stuff with the city guard. Thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, best of luck with your project. I hope it goes really well. I hope to hear more about it sometime soon. What are you writing anything specific, like fantasy, sci-fi? Like I'm going to report word count to Nano. $614. At 614, it was 416. I'd say it was a happy day. Where were you writing? Interesting they don't give a desktop computer as an option, but on a laptop. Surreal horror comedy, that sounds awesome. I honestly thrilled to hear that. I hope to read it sometime. I love surrealism. If you're a fan of surrealism and you haven't seen it already, you should check out Atlanta on FX. It's not, I planned nothing, it's going to be disaster. Hey, listen, last year, the first time I ever attempted Nano, I wrote about 10,000 words, planned nothing for it, and it's now become my big project, like the novel that I've been working on ever since, and like am now taking a break from to do this. So you never know is my point. Like, it was a disaster for me last year when I planned nothing, but also that month of attempting it created something that I'm still working on to this day that I am absolutely thrilled about. So, take it in stride. Don't hate on it before you've even gone for it, Yeah. But Atlanta on FX, great show. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's by why am I drawing a blank on his name? Troy from Community. He makes the show, and it's a very big mix of like absolute realism and absolute surrealism. Like, basically just Atlanta as it is, and then suddenly like crazy shit will happen. Like, somebody will drive an invisible car through a crowd. Like, wait, that car's invisible? Like, what the hell is going on? Good. Yeah. So there we go. Oh, I just got 2 badges. Don't know what that means, but that's cool. Only 49,600 some odd words to go. Oh, okay. I don't know where you're from, but it's on Hulu. That's where I've watched it, at least. Could be any. Yeah. All right. So, reported my word count, and now I start a new document here real quick. My computer is having a hard time, but I'm gonna make the Foreign City Guard rank really quick before I log off tonight. I just realized stream has not been showing that very. Let me fix that right now. Okay. So, Foreign Guard, ranks. I don't need every single rank laid out. I just keep note of them. So, what were old city guard ranks? Different culture. See, as for us here. Captain of the Guard. Let's see where this rank title comes from. Bodyguard duty for royalty or head of state. But the guard can refer to the military security force of the city a region such as a province, state, or territory. I mean, that's going to be an important one. I don't even know if that character will show up, but it'll be good to have note of. Captain of the Guard, that's pretty straightforward. And then, I mean, I don't want to use Watch Captain. I want to use something like Watch Captain. Maybe let's see what the hell title Watch Captain. Watch Captain rank. Okay, just Captain, but Captain of the Watch, obviously. Okay. City Guard of Varda. What was the city guard like in Varda? Actually, I just want to take ranks in general from Spartan military. That sounds like a cool place to draw inspiration from. Army organization. Oh, if they're using very untranslatable words, then that won't work really well. Spartiates were the core of the Spartan army. They participated in the assembly and provided the hoplites in hoplites. Recognize that word. Wow, that's interesting. These people were trained to be soldiers and nothing else. They were forbidden to learn or exercise any other trade. To a large degree, the constant war footing of Spartan society needed to keep the vastly more numerous helots. The helots were Spartan slaves, I think. Okay, I'm getting way off track by reading that, but that was really interesting. What's a hoplite? Hoplites were citizen soldiers of states who were primarily armed with spears and shields. That might be an interesting place to pull ranks from. Like, I don't hear sort of Greek ranks being used very much in fantasy. Might be interesting to take that. But I don't know. For now, I think I'm just going to standard stuff, and I can always fill it in later. Different names. So, Lieutenant, I'll probably spend some time tonight doing research off stream, and then pull something together for the next time I'm writing, which probably be Wednesday. I'm gonna try and do it earlier, maybe tomorrow on the laptop, because the laptop did work pretty well from what I can tell. I'm gonna go back and watch the VOD to make sure. But for now, I think that's where I'm gonna call the stream, because it'll just be better for me to search offline and come back, so that you're not watching me flick through Wikipedia and stuff. But thanks to everybody who joined me. Have a good night, and yeah, happy NaNoWriMo.